Hey, I'm back. It's Paper Guts, second vlog. I'm back in the studio, as you can see, or back in the library. I am so happy to have shared the first vlog with you guys. I got such good response to it, unlike anything I've put out in a while. So thanks a lot for reaching out if you did, and if you haven't, reach out, let me know. I'm excited because I found some really exciting collage material in the past few days. I also have the Sade blasting. Let me know if it's a bit too loud. I'll lower it a little bit. All right, it'll work, it'll work. So I was in the Upper West Side and I went to a Goodwill. The Goodwills are still the best place to find books because they're really, really cheap. And it's a good cause, so splurge a little sometimes. I found a crazy vintage book that, again, I'm gonna overcome my preciousness and just dig into it, and I'll show you what it is. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's Body Building for Men. And I mean, the content here, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, the things I can do with you. There's all these sexy men from the 70s, really exciting. And I thought I'd pair that with a Harper's Bazaar. My collector, who I love very much, gives me stacks of magazines. So every few months I go to her place and come back with like IKEA bags of magazines, catalogs, and all this really fun material. So let's dig in. I have my cold brew that my husband made. Yeah, that's perfect. So I think everything's right, so let's go. All right, tell me if you can see everything. Yeah, okay, so I want to start with this guy because, I mean, wow. So where's my scalpel? So right from the start when I saw it, things started jumping out, you know? I mean, just look at that. Imagine someone painting a painting with that as a reference. How exciting would that be, right? And I'm not saying copy, but you know, when you process something and you make it your own, really exciting things start to happen. Like, look at that. All right, I'm totally like, this is stuff that I should know, but I don't know. Like where the triceps are, where the real rear deltoids are. Do you know where your lats are? I can feel them. All right. Like, I think it's also really interesting because, you know, you look at it and you know this person is of a time and place. And there's just the pose itself. There's something very relaxed about it. Obviously homoerotic, obviously there's a grace to it, but I'll come back to that one. Yeah, the ones that really interested me were these shapes. So let's cut into these. So the best thing to do is talk, right? It's easy to just dive into it and not think about it too much, and I think this talking helps because I'm kind of just going on intuition, which is an essential part, I think, of making art. But then when you do business, you know, the business of art, that's a totally different ballgame. But when you're making art, it's, for me anyway, it's a lot about intuition. So I was at this Goodwill in the Upper West Side, which is my favorite, or one of my favorite neighborhoods in New York City, because it just feels like, I don't know, of a certain time and place. Let me lower this music just a little bit. When I was moving to New York as a 19-year-old kid, that was the New York I thought I was going to experience, right? The Woody Allen, silly New York, almost Seinfeldish, but not the case. When I moved to New York, I ended up in Williamsburg, which was a totally different place than it is now, and I'm still in Williamsburg, but not the Woody Allen New York I thought I'd find, but that's okay. but everything else about New York was true. When I moved, I shared an apartment with rats the size of cats. No joke. But and I didn't know anyone in the city when I moved. But there was this apartment across the street that had the light on night and day. And that was kind of like my safety place, right? If anything ever went down, that's where I would go for help. So thanks, whoever they were. So look at this, like this is super cool. Again, the negative space is always really interesting. So if you want to do something like, oh, I don't know. Again, I go to the flowers because it's the easiest thing. Like, look at that. Bam. That's kind of boring, actually. Okay, well, contrast. We're going for contrast. So look at that. Right, that's really cool. But again, flowers are kind of a safe thing, at least for me anyway. If you're doing amazing things with flowers, right on. But that's not what I want to do here. So if you come to New York, Williamsburg apparently is kind of like a hotbed for creativity, which not really, because it's too expensive and all the real artists have long left, except for me. And they have tours of like murals and street art, if you will. They have a lot of that stuff in most major cities nowadays, because no one can afford to have a gallery. So I have this cool guy, right? But what I thought would be really cool is if like I created a pattern with these guys. Like, look at that, like a star, kind of slightly medieval, right? So I'll continue. What do you listen to when you make art? I usually listen to really sad music, but I'm making an effort to take my vitamin C and listen to happy music. It's kind of like my Prozac, without the side effects. But I usually do a lot of, I don't know, Angel Olsen or Mazzy Star, or even older stuff like jazz, and a lot of Spanish torch music. But you know, you have to go outside your comfort zone. And sometimes I realize that because I'm so naturally melancholic, I tend to be very monotone. Some of my podcasts, I get to this monotone place, and then I have to re-record the whole thing and smile as I'm saying it. Not in a fake smile, but just, you know what's funny? When I do my podcast, I think of this friend who we're not particularly close, but I met her in college, and she just has like this amazing like smile and like face. So I'm like, okay, I have to channel her energy, pretend that I'm talking to her. So I do that. So this, again, did you see that kind of frayed a little bit? When the paper is old, it isn't as crisp, and it tends to be brittle and it crumbles. So be careful. I mean, you can roll with it and add it to the image and do more of it, but that's not what I wanted to do. But it's fine. Again, look, even the negative, right? Going to the negative spaces. Look at me, talking about negative spaces, sad music. I mean, it's all connected, isn't it? Let me bring the camera just a little bit closer so you can see what I'm actually doing here. Yeah, is that better? So I started this Patreon subscription system, and if you're watching this, you're probably a patron, because this vlog goes out to all of the patrons at any level. And part of it is also, if you become a artist patron, meaning you join at a certain level, I send you a parcel of material, of goodies. Like, I'm not talking about scraps here, I'm talking about pages from the stuff that I find on my scavenger hunts in New York City and in my travels. I'm really excited. I'm going to Orlando Monday, in a few days, and I hope I have time to go find some Goodwills or something, because the best ones are outside of New York. I usually go to the ones in Las Vegas. Those are really cool. Actually, they're not called, well, I'm sure there are Goodwills, but I go to, what are they called? Dude, shoot, I forgot. Deals. I think they're called Deals, maybe? I don't know, but they're fantastic because you know what they do? They have their books by subject, like a bookstore, like a library. You know, when you go to the Goodwill, it's just all in one pile. Nope, not in Las Vegas. It's all sorted out. That's really nice. Okay, so I have 3 guys here. I think we can do something interesting. Like I said, I have a Bazaar magazine, and the problem, to be honest, with the Bazaar magazines and most fashion magazines is that they all look alike, they all look the same, they're all blonde, which is great. God bless blonde people, but I mean, it's kind of too beautiful and you have nothing to do, although like, hello, right? Beautiful. So sometimes you need something that's a little bit more neutral that won't take away from the things that you're collaging. So I'm gonna put this to the side for now. And what I do have in my drawer over here is a pack of craft paper, I guess. And it's just color, right? Flat color. So let me see what I can dig up here. I'm a fan of the pastels and the pinks. Don't do pink. I'm gonna do pink. Okay, fine. I'll do... Actually, let me just do white for now. So there's a lot of these guys, so I could essentially make something that's really, really big, right? But look at that. Like, whoa, that's just a really cool image. There's so much magic in here. Then you throw this guy in, you're like, what? It's like a star. So this is really exciting. This is really exciting. So exciting that I need some coffee. Yeah, like, that would make an amazing painting, don't you think? Or even a drawing, a charcoal drawing. Somebody get on that. Okay, so I have enough information here to maybe take a look at this bazaar and see what's up. So this is Harper's Bazaar from March 2018. Fairly recent. I love the gradations. This is a little too subtle, but sometimes these gradations add so much to a collage. Oh, I've always loved that. Isn't that amazing? Now, my love affair with magazines happened fairly young, when I was a kid, and I mean like maybe 8, 9, and I say this story, so if you've heard this story, bear with me. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to work at a posh convalescent home. She was a janitor, a maintenance person. And as anyone who's ever had a maintenance person in their family or friends, they find the coolest stuff. But what my grandma loved was bringing magazines, fashion magazines. And I think she would get inspired because she would often dress extravagant and have fun with that. So then I would get these magazines, and I mean, it was basically this, right? These colors, these people, these places, and I was enamored. I'm like, I belong here. I belong in this magazine. I belong in this world. And I kind of swallowed it up. But then as I started looking at more of the magazines, I realized that none of them looked like us. None of them looked like my grandma. None of them looked like me. I was a fat little kid. My grandma was, you know, this Mexican woman with kinky hair. So I started collaging. I started tearing things up and putting things that represented us and made sense to me. And that was the impetus. That's how I started collaging. I mean, you can see that I make collages, 3 and 45 minutes, but those were 30 years in the making. Wow, look at that. That's a great shape. I'd love to use something like this, but it's also already very much its own thing, right? So there's no point in that. That's a great. Let's see what we can do with this guy. I'm really attracted by elements of nature. Like, this is amazing. Even if we just have a straight line, I'm trying to just tear it up a little bit. Let's see what happens. So that's cool. It kind of makes reference to like diving or something, which is neat, but no. Okay, I think I just stumbled on something. Yes, this is great. So this has rhythm, it has scale. This would be a fantastic sculpture. I get the New York Times and I'm constantly, I have piles of newspaper because I'm a hoarder. And I think how amazing it would be to make like a piñata or a piñata or a paper mache sculpture, right? But I've done that. I've made sculptures so big that they don't fit out of my my house. So I don't want to do that again. Okay, so I keep talking smack about flowers, but actually this is really cool. I wonder if I can deconstruct this. Can you hear the music? What? I can't hear you. I listen to a lot of like French music, Italian music, or music whose language I don't speak, just because it's less distracting, and also if it's good enough to listen to if you don't understand, then you know there's something powerful about the song, right? I think I need a new blade. Oh, 2 papers here. Look, something really interesting is happening. I'll roll with it. So sometimes we don't think about it, but our origin stories were really important. They're not just important to superheroes, but how did you get started? If you think about how you started doing what you're doing now, you might not even realize it, but it comes from somewhere. It doesn't just, it is magic, but it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. There's usually some seeds. Either you saw something when you were a kid, or something really resonated with you, a material. And those are kind of fun stories or narratives to know about yourself, because they only give you more fodder for creating artwork. This is cool. And then look at that, what a weird, but it works. That guy is really cool too. But what attracted me was the green, actually, but I might not use it. If I start singing, please send me a message because I don't want to do that. I've done that. All right, let's see what we got here. It's almost a shame to kind of want to do anything to these guys because they're such a perfect composition. But let's see. Maybe I won't do anything. Oh, I started singing. So the thing is that I get like kind of like overzealous, and now I don't want to cover them, which then it isn't a collage, is it? Or it is a collage, but here we go. Sometimes what'll happen, I'll throw away all these scraps, and then I look in the trash and I end up taking a picture of my trash can because there's just so many beautiful colors and shapes in there that I feel like it's art in and of itself. Okay, I think those two are cool. ¿Qué pasa acá? Oh, there we go. See, this is kind of cool. Do you see this? Something's happening there, right? It's kind of Hannah Hutch, a little Dada. So let me commit a little bit here. I have my handy dandy squares, and I'm gonna start plotting some stuff out. Now, these are not big, but sometimes the less adhesive you put, the more liberty you'll have to put things around it, or if you don't like it and want to move it, it won't ruin your paper. Because remember, this, if you're using vintage paper, it's brittle and doesn't hold up as well as newer material. See, I already moved it and I'm not all that happy with it. Nope. Tant pis. Voila. Yeah, perfect. See, I love that subtle meeting of these two. Like, it's so subtle. Like, you see how it's almost touching, but not really? I mean, that kind of placement creates tension, which is a great thing to have in art. So I was having a conversation via Instagram with someone that I connect with on Instagram. We don't know each other personally. But just, the horrible things that are happening in the world, and how art is really a way of making more beauty in a world that really needs it. I mean, it's not going to shield anyone from bullets or, help the kids in the internment camps or anything, but we need more beauty. We need to convince more people that life is good. And art is one way to do it, I really think. That's just me preaching. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. And it's kind of like playing, I also think of this as almost animation, like they're moving around, they're doing their thing until I press pause, and then that's it. They're there forever. But maybe they're like Toy Story and they like move around at night. I don't know. But there we go, that's something. That's cool. Okay, well, at least I like it, but obviously it needs more. It needs more. Okay. Let me play with this because I really enjoyed. Let's see. So you can't see what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to use my handy dandy tool here and make a hole, or make a circle, I should say. So the thing about this is that because it's just magazine paper, it's very weak. What I do is I'll double it up with the back of the magazine because it's harder stock. But if you have a new hole puncher, it might work just because it's less dull. I've had this one for a while. I've been having it for a while. Okay. Okay, let's see. What do you think? Okay, yeah, closer to something. I love all this. Like the blue, the pastels of the 80s are so cool. Look, there's Laura Hutton. I saw her in Soho the other day. She still looks amazing. So there's really exciting stuff here. But the last thing I want is for someone to look at my collage and be like, oh, that's Chanel fall collection, which has happened, which I didn't mind, but still, it's not my goal. That's cool. I mean, wow, look at that. That's a great image, right? Like, you can do so much with that. But I'm gonna keep going, keep going. I also really love fonts. Like, that's a 5, but look what a beautiful shape that is. Kind of has a belly. Look, it's Selena Gomez. Wow, now that's a beautiful image. So yeah, this is the fun part, you know, kind of just looking around, getting inspired by the images you find, like this image of Oprah. Oh, okay, like, well, that's kind of breathtaking, right? I don't know if I can use it in my piece right now. Shoot. Or can I? Well, let's play with it. Who knows? Okay, so I didn't like this circle. This I did like. Oh yeah, that's cool. Also in the Upper West Side is the Dakotas. Do you guys know about the Dakotas, where Yoko Ono lives, where John Lennon was shot? It's really haunting. It's a beautiful space. I love passing by there. There's always tons of people hanging out. It's kind of sad, but it's really beautiful. I thought about, oh, that'd be an interesting place to live, but maybe not. Maybe not. But it's such a nice area. You know what's over there too? The Museum of Natural History. And if you ever come to New York, if you haven't, go to the Museum of Natural History. At the center of the museum, there is a huge whale, and the whale is suspended from the ceiling, and you can walk right under it. And it's to size, right? To life. It's a life scale, and it's just kind of breathtaking. I recommend it. Okay, no, you can't do anything with this, but I'm gonna keep this because this is really cool. Because even if I play with this with the negative spaces, look at that. The folds kind of looks like human skin, which is a little gross, but whoa, look at that. How haunting is that? All right. So while you're making collages, you can be making, they make themselves actually, right? You can be making more. Okay, I'm happy with this, but it needs more stuff. I was gonna say I'm done, but I'm not. Okay. I'm going to dig in here. What do I have in here? Oh, look, I just found another collage that was kind of hiding that I made. Oh, it's not a collage, it's a drawing. Kind of cool, huh? Okay, so I'll show you. So in my studio library, I have stacks and stacks of stuff. So let me see if I can take you with me to check it out. Yes, I can. So bear with. Is that dizzying? So I'm back in the studio. I had been relegated to my bedroom because I've had guests that I love since June. So I've been hosting for a while. Let me know if you're in New York. No, I'm just kidding. But so this is the stack of magazines that my collector gave me. So I'm gonna dig in and see what I find. I hope you don't mind me moving around. I know this is a lot. So take a look at my books for a second. What do you see? What do you see? So this is a really great book. If you guys are really serious about collaging, The Age of Collage. It is stunning. So there's a lot of really cool stuff and really great techniques that you can study and appropriate, I guess. And here's a whole section of magazines that I have, and I don't know. I'm just gonna take a bunch. How about that? Let's take a bunch of stuff. And I have tons of books as well. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna walk slow because I think it could be a little dizzying. There's my palm. All right, let's see what I got here. This is from The Shed. Like, look at that. That's just really cool. That's Richter, and that'd be nice to destroy it a little bit, right? That's a great image. So again, this is mostly Bjork. This is mostly art. So I don't like taking art and making more art of it because that's kind of easy. This is a great color. I am not an object artist. Well, that's good. See, that's cool. That's kind of a collage thing, huh? That's a great color. Wow. All right. So let me see. I think these colors would be great contrasts to what I'm doing here. Bam. Oh, yeah, that's cool, actually. Not be so precious about their bodies. Because as you can tell, I'm like, oh, they're so cool, these guys. I want to showcase them, but who cares? Cover them. Destroy the patriarchy. All right. That's just subliminal programming. Yes. We did it. That makes me happy, or closer to happiness. Closer to happiness. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? It's something about the contrast of the red and this kind of greenish that really makes it pop. So then this is even ready for some text, you know? But I won't do that because, yes, they are precious. Um, okay, I'm happy. Look what I made, Mom. Okay, so this is something. We'll put it to the side. And then let's go somewhere else. I think I can work with all this crazy stuff here. Should we do something with the skin thing? Why not? Let's see where it takes us. Oh, this is a little jazzy. I like it. So it's always fun to kind of try to do something within the page. So find something to go in here, and then just keep adding to that. No, I don't like that at all. So trash, trash, trash. Remember, I have this pink here. Nope. Ooh, so I have a veranda. Let's see what veranda has to say. Ooh, I love that. See how this, I mean, this is literally kind of just nothing. You know, they're trying to sell you the pasta with this huge depth of field, but it then becomes super abstract when you use it as the focal point of something. So it looks a little bit, yeah, it does something. Ah, found it. Cool. So let me cut this up. So it's kind of, you know, allowing yourself to see the possibilities. I think when you collage, anything goes, and don't be afraid to make something ugly. Ugly can be fun. Ugly can be beautiful. So you'll see it in a second, but the shadow of the tree almost looks like veins or something. Ah! So I just cut it and cut it a little too much, so let me move it a little bit. Remember, just happy accidents here. Okay, salt. Let me not do that again. All right, so we have a base for something to happen here. And I have this handy dandy, ooh, yeah. Oh, this is gorgeous. So why do I like this? I like this because it's super eerie, right? It's kind of mystical. It's kind of like they're reaching for something, you don't know what. And then this looks like a portal. I mean, circles are mystical shapes, right? They represent a cycle or infinity, and also a portal. So I'll go there if you want me to go there, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay. We're going, oh, you know what I can do? I was gonna do it last time, but I thought it'd be too easy, but I love this yellow. And in my tool of arsenal, something that I always have is hole puncher. So if I can cut some nice confetti-sized circles with this, I can make a nice pattern as well. So let's go. Let me empty it. So talk about therapeutical, right? Sometimes when you do the same thing over and over, you can either be really frustrated by it or let it soothe you and take you into a deep meditation. All right. Yeah, see that? That's fun. So, I mean, even just playing with it randomly. Ooh, I just saw some pink there that I don't want to see. All right, we'll deal with that in a minute. So, I mean, this isn't, I didn't invent this, it's not a big deal, but it's just so much fun to just kind of randomly let them do their thing, right? I mean, and then another fun part of this whole process is giving these collages a name, right? So I have no idea what these are going to be called, but I know it's going to be fun. All right, so like I said, I'm going to Orlando. I'm posting this on Wednesday. If you know of any thrift shops, message me on Instagram at artengineer. I don't know where exactly I'm staying. I'm staying around Disney, maybe? I don't know. But I'm excited. Podcast movement conference. I'm reaching out to a few artists out there to see if I can maybe interview them for the podcast. So I'm looking forward to it, to say the least. So obviously I don't use the squares for these guys. I use glue stick, which isn't always the best because it will kind of snap off after a while. So you document it and then it's fine. But remember, art isn't forever. All right, this is cool. Let's do this. So I'm not gonna have to cut off the little itty bitty sliver of pink there because I can cover it with a circle and that creates drama because they're overlapping, so that's great. So I have this guy, Elmer's, nothing special. It's washable stick, which is probably not the best thing. Let me see what else I have. I have lapis adhesivo. I think I got this in Costa Rica in Colombia when I was in Medellin. If you get to go to Colombia, be sure to stop by Medellin. It is amazing and it's very safe. And the infrastructure, which is something I hadn't really thought about. When you go somewhere, you want it to have an impeccable infrastructure, meaning you can get around, you feel safe, there's stores, there's food, there's water, and boy, did they have an infrastructure. Not only did they have amazing transportation and cable cars and a subway, I mean, it was just stunning. They also had Starbucks. I know, I'm super annoyed with this, but it was nice. You know, you get to a foreign place and you know you're gonna get your coffee that tastes the exact same way. But they did have amazing coffee, obviously. It's Colombia. So I did try that. Don't judge. But it was nice. It was super, super cool. And I was vegan at the time, which I'm not so much anymore, unfortunately, but I was vegan. And they have the most amazing vegan restaurant there. It's called Justo, like just Justo. And I mean, as an American with dollars, you go in there and you find everything super cheap. And wow, the food was exquisite. If you are vegan, it's worth the trip because it just felt very regional, authentic, and you weren't just eating soy and tempeh or whatever. It was just really exquisite vegetables, really exquisitely cooked, exciting things. And you know, we had like all of the dessert menu at some point. And you know, I like a little luxury, so it was just a really nice space as well. I mean, you feel like you're eating in the forest. So go check it out. It's in Medellin. I don't remember the neighborhood, but it's where all the artists are, so it won't be hard to find. Actually, while I was there too, I connected with a curator and I had a show out there, and that was amazing. I connected her beforehand. I connected with her beforehand. And you have to remember, as artists, you know, we have this leverage. We're part of a broader community that transcends borders or language. As long as you have a track record, as long as you know, if you have your Instagram full of your artwork, people can see you're serious. You're not just some scary person DMing for no reason. So I encourage you to do that. I thought those were okay. See how it all just kind of falls apart? But nope, there it is. So let's see, what else can I do here? Yeah, there's something really cool about this. So then these little yellow dots become like constellations, right? Do I want some here? Like a chakra, the crown chakra. Which I think I'm done. It's telling me to stop. Okay. Coffee. And it's a good point to just look at it, right, and see what it needs. I don't think it needs that much, but we can, I don't know, might need one or two more elements. So let me put this to the side and go back to veranda. Wow, that's just great. Oh, that's kind of interesting, right? Something about hardware is really cool. Oh, that's really, again, flowers are just beautiful, and a good fix for anything. But let me start with the hardware. This is Rocky Mountain hardware. Ooh, I have some haunting music playing in the background. It helps, it really helps. It just feels familiar. And this is cool. Thank you for sitting with me and not tripping out when I'm quiet, because sometimes it's nice just to be silent for a second at least, to kind of collect your thoughts and be precise about what you're going to do. And that's when you know you have a good friendship, you know? I mean, you know, granted not through YouTube, but when you have friends that you can just be quiet with. So what is this doing for me? I don't know, it can be kind of like representing obstacles, you know, like, see, this one fell apart. And this is the important one because it hides the pink, and it didn't take. All right. Ah. So there's something here. There is something here. So, because my adhesive is right here, I need to maybe cut into this if I want to put it there to make kind of like a space. So, I can nestle it better. Yeah, there it goes. Looks like a cross. Maybe it's like the cardinal rules, cardinal directions, I don't know. Do I need that? Maybe I don't. You know, would be cool actually, some kind of streak, right? Ta-da! All right, so I am a painter. I have these fun blotches of stuff. So you'll actually get some of these if you subscribe to the Parcel subscription. They're super cool, and I mean, when you look at them, you're gonna say, wow, this guy's really wasteful because there's so much thick paint. But I do it consciously knowing that they're gonna make it to a collage at some point, so usually you can just peel them off. And if that doesn't work, I usually just cut it. So, I mean, again, nothing's precious. Yeah, that's cool. Oh. That's neat, but no. So I'm gonna make again a nice little space. Let's see, that didn't work because my blade isn't that sharp there. Yeah, okay. Something's going on here. Yeah, that's very cool. I want to keep it in the paper, so let me make it a little thinner. Ah! Voila. This is something. Now let me look at this for a second. Do I need this guy? Maybe not. So I'll cut that. Yep, there it is. Right? Does that feel right? So I don't know if I want to have that touch there, if I don't want to have that touch there, because it makes a difference. I think these two colors are too similar, and it'll just blend into a blob. So I think I'll leave a little bit of contrast there. Yeah. Cool. So this time around, I got to 40 odd minutes, and I made 2 collages instead of 3, but that's no big issue. Just pointing it out, because sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes less. And I think, especially because I had to cut out these really cool guys a little bit more meticulously, it takes more time. So I need to fasten the bottom and glue it, but this is this collage, and I'll post it on Instagram, and I'll share it on the video as well. But this is paper cut 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, let me know. Go to studioconfessions.com and you can become a patron and receive the collage material. As you can see, there's a lot of really fun stuff to play with. So thanks for joining me. Be well.